Hey everyone. Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars, where we bring you the moments everyone's whispering about. Settle in, because tonight's story is the one that turned the entire week upside down. And before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share this video so you never miss what really happens behind those bright lights. Thank you for being here. The most buzzed about sighting in the entertainment world came without warning. Two familiar faces, long rumored to be more than friends, stepping into the night as if they had nothing left to hide. Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda, who first drew attention with their easy chemistry on set months ago, were spotted hand in hand on the streets of Cihangir. It happened softly, almost accidentally, no red carpet, no attention-grabbing entrance, just two people, fingers interlaced, moving through the evening as if it were the most natural thing in the world. They had spent the evening with a small circle of friends. Laughter rolled out of a dimly lit restaurant door, the kind of Cihangir place where the music sits low and conversations run long. When the small group filtered out and the flashbulbs burst into life, there was a split second of surprise, then stillness. No frantic looks, no rush to slip into a car. Instead, Gökberk kept Cemre's hand in his, grounding the moment with an assurance that said, "We know you're here, and we're not running." Cemre's look was effortless. The kind of polished casual that never looks forced, hair down, a tailored, light-toned jacket thrown over a simple top, delicate jewelry catching the streetlights. Gökberk's calm presence drew just as many eyes, that relaxed smile, shoulders loose, an air of unflappable composure. Passers-by murmured, and within minutes the whispers turned into something more certain, "They're done keeping this in the shadows." As the cameras clicked and the questions rose, quick, insistent, curious, one reporter called out the question everyone expected. "Is this what we think it is?" Gökberk glanced at Cemre, and there was a tiny, barely there grin he couldn't suppress. Then he faced the crowd and said, "You always catch on to everything. Looks like there isn't much left for us to hide." It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't scripted, it simply sounded like a truth that had waited long enough. Cemre, for her part, didn't launch into stories or postures. She has always been measured, careful, most comfortable when her work is doing the talking. But that night, her answer was small and unmistakably real. "We're happy. Thank you for understanding." A smile, calm and warm, settled over her face when she said it, the kind of smile that already knows its own certainty. People close to the couple had seen this coming for a while. They'd met through work, collaborated on set, shared long days and quiet breaks. The connection built in the empty minutes between scenes, where eye contact speaks louder than lines. Friends say the bond grew in those off-guard moments, the last rehearsal of the night, the shared coffee when the set emptied out, the way one laughed more easily when the other was there. It wasn't rushed, and it wasn't plotted out, it was two people making room for something tender. And then there was the decision to keep it theirs for as long as possible. Both Gökberk and Cemre have always guarded their private lives. She rarely posts anything that reads as personal. He dodges prying questions with a polite smile and a deft change of topic. For months, they managed what many find impossible. They lived their lives without letting the story get ahead of them. They arrived separately, exited at different times, never stood too close when eyes were watching. The rumors swelled regardless, but there was never a photo that felt definitive, until last night. When the images hit social media, everything moved quickly. Fans couldn't agree on which detail was sweeter, the way his thumb brushed her hand as they moved through the crowd, or the way she leaned slightly toward him without even realizing. Comments flooded in from every direction. Finally, someone wrote. Another echoed, "This is the soft launch we were waiting for." Others offered congratulations like they were signing a friend's guest book. "You kept this yours, and we respect that, but we love seeing you smile." A close friend in their circle, who has seen them away from sets and scripts, offered a rare confirmation. "They've known each other longer than people think. They're both quiet souls at heart. Nothing about this is for show. It's been growing for months, and it's steady." Those words, measured and simple, carried the weight of what fans suspected and the tabloids strained to prove. If you trace the timeline, the clues were there. A joint appearance that was brushed off as coincidence. A story on their social feeds posted within minutes of each other, in the same city, with the same sunset washing the sky. Gökberk took longer pauses during interviews when questions drifted toward the personal. Cemre began sharing softer images, books, plants, morning light, without ever giving away a face. People say they started to look like the kind of calm that only arrives when two lives find the right rhythm. Cihangir has a way of keeping secrets and turning them into neighborhood folklore. That evening felt like both. The restaurant staff was considerate, the friends relaxed, the conversation easy. When the group spilled onto the sidewalk, the energy shifted. Phones lifted, the first flash fired, and the city narrowed to a circle of light around them. Gökberk instinctively pulled Cemre closer, not possessive, just protective. He faced the cameras like a man who had decided there was no more need for a shield. A voice asked the question again, phrased differently this time, too pointed to ignore. "Are you two together?" He took a breath, let out a soft laugh, and said, "You've seen what you came to see. We're not pretending otherwise anymore." It was not a press statement, it was a human one. The small crowd around them let out a collective exhale, like a story that had finally turned its last page. Cemre's reply mirrored his tone. "We're good. We're happy. There isn't much more to add." She didn't overplay the moment, she honored it. That sincerity resonated instantly online, where clips of her words looped through timelines with captions calling it the most honest thing to come out of a celebrity encounter in weeks. What comes next is the question everyone asks, even though the answer rarely fits into neat headlines. Both are balancing intense schedules, scripts to read, tables to rehearse, projects that compete for time and focus. They've made careers out of choices that don't always chase the loudest buzz. Insiders say that's the deal they've struck with themselves: keep the work sharp and let the personal life unfold at its own pace. No stunts. No spectacles. Just a promise to show up for each other even when days go late and sleep comes in small increments. For the fans, the reveal checked every box. It was gentle, genuine, and free of theatrics. No staged red carpet debut, no choreographed photo op. Just an unguarded slice of a night, forever frozen by the glint of a camera. It's the image people will reference, their hands linked, smiles easy, steps matched. As proof that sometimes the softest confirmations are the strongest. Meanwhile, the industry is watching with its own curiosity. Both are attached to new projects that will keep them moving through opposite ends of the city at impossible hours. How do you fold romance into relentless schedules? Those who know them say they're methodical. They plan, they communicate, and they've agreed on the most important part: the private stays private, no matter how bright the public becomes. They've promised themselves to handle this like adults who know the cost of putting too much in the shop window. Even so, last night had the glow of a beginning. As they stepped toward their car, the flashes slowed, the questions faded to a murmur, and the city's sounds returned: the distant hum of engines, a door closing, someone laughing 3 buildings down. They slid into the back seat side by side. A door shut gently. The car pulled away. The street exhaled. The moment, however, stayed. Back online, the conversation took on a life of its own. People stitched together timelines and traded screenshots. Makeup artists who had worked with them chimed in about their kindness on set. A costume assistant remembered the day Gökberk waited an extra hour just to walk Cemre to her car after a late-night shoot. A sound tech posted a discreet, respectful note: "It's real. It's sweet. Let them be." Someone who has spent years around both of them described the heart of it best. They're not performing for anyone when they're together. It's like the world gets quieter. They talk a lot, even when they don't say much. They're careful with each other's tiredness. And that, more than anything, told us what we needed to know. By morning, the headlines crystallized around a single truth. After months of whispers, misdirections, and careful dodges, Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda let a moment be exactly what it was. The couple walked hand in hand through Cihangir and allowed the night to speak for them. No dramatic pronouncements. No elaborate denials. Just two people deciding to stop pretending they were strangers. The way they handled it set a tone. A few outlets tried to push for more labels, time frames, backstory, hoping to extract what hadn't been offered. But all they found were the same elements that made last night so striking: ease, respect, and a refusal to trade something intimate for a bigger headline. It's a choice that carries weight in this industry, and it made the reveal feel not just romantic, but mature. So where does that leave us? With an image that feels already classic, their hands threaded together, shoulders turned just slightly toward one another, a shared smile that suggests private jokes and a long-running conversation. With a statement that isn't really a statement, but lands harder than most: "You've seen it. We're not hiding." With a reply, simple and luminous: "We're happy." Those who love them will keep watching, of course, hoping for small updates. Another candid sighting, a picture of two coffee cups on a quiet morning, a fragment of a playlist that sounds like a shared mood. But even without those breadcrumbs, we've seen enough to understand the shape of this story. It didn't explode onto the scene. It unfolded, patiently, until the truth had nowhere left to go but out into the open air. As the day ended and the chatter thinned, one detail lingered more than the rest. All through that encounter, Gökberk never once let go of Cemre's hand. It wasn't a grip, it was an anchor. And if you've ever wondered what it looks like when a rumor becomes a reality, re-watch the moment he noticed the cameras, looked at her first, and only then turned to the lights. That's not strategy. That's tenderness. Wrapping up the night, the pair avoided any grand exits. They didn't circle back for a second wave of photos or make a show of shutting down questions. They left Cihangir the way they arrived, quietly, together, with just enough light around them to see where they were going. The sensation they left behind wasn't shock. It was relief. Relief that the speculation has a face now, and it's smiling. So yes, after months of careful steps, the truth finally walked beside them. Yes, the world has its proof. And yes, Secrets Behind the Stars will be here to watch the next chapter, respectfully and eagerly, as they write it. If you enjoyed being with us tonight, don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share this video with the people you gossip with. Until next time, keep your eyes open. The brightest stories often start with a look, a smile, and the simplest touch.